But first, how safe or unsafe do Angelinas feel? Well, our David Nazar has the story.
What's
David.
the word, David?
The word isn't good, Rick and Elizabeth. There is no question violent crimes like aggravated assaults and armed robberies have increased from a year ago. You should also know nonviolent crimes like thefts from cars and homes are spiking. Now, some claim this is all because prisoners are being released early in California thanks to overcrowded jails and Prop 47, which voters approved back in 2014. Well, whatever the cause, some folks are freaking out. If you live in Los Angeles and were a crime victim in 2015, it's safe to say you were not alone. For the first time in over a decade, every single type of crime increased. For starters, violent crime in LA climbed about 20%, and property crime increased about 10%. This is the second year in a row that violent crime has spiked. However, what has many folks most concerned these days is the fact that this was the first time since 2003 that both violent and property crime increased in the same year. Are you aware that crime is increasing here in Los Angeles?
Yes, I am. I read the paper. Yes, sir.
Does it concern you?
Of course it does, yeah.
Are you worried about the spike in crime here in Los Angeles?
Yes, I'm very concerned about that. I've been seeing a lot been going on, and I just want to see more police force getting involved in schools and the thing with the schools, and just more on the street so we can feel safe.
Are you concerned about the increase in both violent and property crime?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Very worried about that. I believe that the rise in crime has to do with the gap between rich and poor in the country, as well as California.
Where do you live?
I live in downtown.
Do you sense there's a lot more crime in downtown these days?
Yes, there is a lot, and there's sometimes like certain parts of the area where there's like no police officer and people get robbed, like a lot of tourists around the Greyhound in downtown. So I stay around downtown, that area, and I see all that all the time, people getting robbed, some people pulling knives, people getting they snatch their purses.
What part of LA do you live in?
I live in Hollywood.
Are you sensing an increase in crime around here?
Yeah, I know that like there's been an increase in crime, or I'm just more aware of it. Like my sister was on the subway one day and she said this guy was creeping her out, and as soon as she got off the subway she heard people screaming, and then somebody was like, that guy just stabbed someone with a smile on his face.
It sounds like you're really scared. Are you personally doing anything differently?
Yeah, just whenever I'm like walking around Hollywood, if it's nighttime or if I'm taking the subway early, then I'll carry my pepper spray and I'll wear earbuds just so that people don't mess with me.
Have you noticed more crime in the LA area?
Yes, I'm afraid there has been an increase in crime. It's a concern for the community.
What have you been noticing?
I'm more aware of property crimes and kind of the lower level personal crimes, assaults.
Is this Mayor Garcetti's problem? Is it a police problem? Is it the Sheriff's Department's problem? Who should be looking at this?
I think it takes a collaborative effort between all of those entities and the community at large to really address this problem.
It's interesting because when we do these types of man-on-the-street interviews, as they're called, we often get sort of a mixed reaction to the questions the reporter's asking, obviously. In other words, normally some will say, yeah, crime is bad. Others will say, no, it's not bad. They're not necessarily worried. However, I must tell you, on this particular report, everyone I talked to seemed to be in agreement that crime was increasing, and all the people we interviewed said they were very concerned. So whether it's perception or reality, Rick and Elizabeth, those interviews certainly say something about the climate of this new crime wave these days in Los Angeles.
David, there's no question. Thank you so much for that excellent report.